Hi guys, and welcome to another episode where I discuss what it's like to be a highly sensitive person in an overstimulated world. In this video, we're going to address the issue of chronic fatigue for the HSP. Chronic fatigue is one of the most misunderstood and misdiagnosed health conditions out there, and it's something that highly sensitive people in particular are prone to. What it looks like for me is waking up in the morning feeling already exhausted, despite a good night's sleep of about 7 hours. And my thinking often becomes clouded, which is commonly known as brain fog. I'm less motivated to do anything, and any task feels like I'm mentally running a marathon. Just doing regular daily chores feels like I'm dragging my feet through mud. So how does high sensitivity play a role in this? As HSPs, we're constantly processing every little detail in our environment. Loud sounds, decisions that need to be made, bright lights, people, deadlines, advertisements that pop up on our screens, strong smells, cold air. Our subconscious mind is absorbing it all, and before we know it, we are completely frazzled. We might try to ignore it at first and pretend like we can handle it. But soon, our bodies will reveal the truth and break down with symptoms like adrenal fatigue, burnout, chronic fatigue, with symptoms as extreme as depersonalization. I've experienced that before, and the best way to describe it is like you're on the outside watching in on yourself, like you're detached from yourself and you almost feel like you're unreal somehow. I don't know, it's bizarre. The fatigue can also be caused by people around us. That's when we're so concerned about the suffering of others that it leads to chronic exhaustion called compassion fatigue. When you experience chronic fatigue, it's logical to assume that there might be a chemical imbalance in your body. But when we go to the doctor to figure out why we have these symptoms, we often leave feeling misunderstood. Medical tests might not reveal any imbalances, and so we are dismissed as having psychosomatic symptoms and told that we just need to reduce the stress in our life. To me, that just leads to a feeling of being unseen and even more desperate for relief and answers. As highly sensitive people, we have a heightened reaction to stress. And while moderate stress can actually have a positive effect on the body, too much stress or bad stress can cause all sorts of diseases. To better understand the stress-induced chronic fatigue, let's look at the relationship between stress and serotonin. High stress increases the hormone cortisol, which in turn decreases serotonin. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that plays a key role in our happiness. Not enough, and your happiness may turn into a depression. To say it simply, living under such constant strain puts an enormous toll on our health. But how do we turn off the stressors in a world where overstimulation is a constant that you cannot hide from? And how can we regain our energy? Unfortunately, simply resting won't make chronic fatigue go away. But there are some things that you do have control over, like healthy lifestyle choices, such as diet and exercise, taking on a smaller workload, reducing your exposure to stressors, spending more time doing activities that energize you, like gardening or crafting, or maybe dancing or writing. But of course, all of that is more easily said than done. What I know is when I've worked a long day with over hours, I might need the next day off all by myself to recoup. A day off can still be productive, but it has to be an activity that relaxes me, like pottery. Finding balance between work and rest is essential. Same goes for socializing. Know your limits and don't be afraid to set boundaries. When I have brain fog, a good remedy is exercise. I always feel so much better after rock climbing. My mind clears up and my mood gets uplifted. Must be all those endorphins. Going for a run or mountain biking also make me feel better, but rock climbing, there's just no comparison. It's just such a mental activity. Another tip that I can share with you is to limit your intake of mood and mind-altering substances. Something that I still need to improve on is my coffee intake. The constant ebb and flow of energy that is borrowed from the future by my morning coffee boost, followed by an afternoon crash, is not a sustainable solution to my low energy levels in the morning. And let's not even start about alcohol and other drugs. Most of us are probably familiar with the hangover and recovery of a night of intoxication. If you can afford it, add regular massages to your routine to help remove blockages. But But otherwise, hot baths can be a good alternative to help relax your muscles and release negative tension that you hold in your body. Another stressor for me is being too worked up about where my life is headed. Even with everything I know and the tools that I have, I still have trouble sometimes being in the now and embracing everything that I have in my life rather than focusing on all the things that I still want to achieve. For me, it just feels like there are still too many elements missing for me to be at ease. I feel very blessed to have everything that I need to survive, but I'd also like to achieve the level of financial independence that will allow me to live the kind of life that I feel will be healthier for me. By doing things like traveling more to explore cultures or going on spiritual getaways, or immerse myself in the isolation of nature for a chunk of time so that I can focus on my first actual book. The bottom line is to figure out what the energy drainers in your life are and how to minimize your exposure to them. Sometimes negativity can come from within, like when you're going against your intuition in life, or by getting stuck in life situations that suck the joy out of life. But sometimes the threat comes from outside, like in the form of energy vampires. No, not the blood-sucking kind. It simply refers to the kind of people that take more than they give in a relationship. Set your boundaries and protect your precious energy. I hope you got some insights from this video about where your fatigue might be coming from or how to work through it. This is of course not medical expertise, and it's always advisable to consult healthcare professionals, even if they don't always get it right. Trust your instincts and have an energetic day. Pasa un douce dia.